Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
See, the SAP reset date is going to be July 12th. And Ms. Kim, are you're gonna need the interpreter today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Good afternoon, Madam Interpreter. Hope you're well.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I hope you too.
Yes, thank you. Yes, Ms. Gann, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I will need a moment to speak with Jeffrey Mackey, position number 8.
Okay.
Mackey, go to the phone.
And do we,
Your Honor,
yes,
can we do all the conflicts first? That way it can give Ms. Gant time to talk to Mackey and also some time for Ms. Kim to interview the Spanish interpreter.
yes, very good. That's fine with me. So
Your Honor, the conflict attorneys, we do not have it today, Your Honor.
I understand. So I think what he's saying is that he wants me to speak with them and give them their options today. So
Yes,
we
sir.
can go ahead and do that since they are in courtroom 2, and we'll put you. Is that courtroom 3 that has the interpreter needed?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's put Ms. Kim, Madam Interpreter, into courtroom 3,
Thank
and
you.
Ms. Gant, if you can call courtroom 2 to speak with your client.
Thank you.
And if you will, just let me know who we have that we don't have a conflict attorney for today.
Okay, Ms. Gant, call the 22392 extension. 223, yeah, there you go. Thank you. Your Honor, we have Mr. Goodwine. And he is position number 2.
Okay. And let's see, do we have, who do we have with the state? I see Mr. Rhodes on.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Mr. Segura. How are you?
Doing pretty well.
All right.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Mr. Rhodes. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you so much.
Good. Let's see. Mr. Segura, is Mr. Goodwin, is that your case?
It is.
Your Honor.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Goodwin. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Goodwin, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have a right to have an attorney present to represent you in these proceedings. It's my understanding that you will be in need of a conflict attorney today. We unfortunately do not have any conflict attorneys available. So your options for this afternoon would be to proceed pro se, which means without the advice of a lawyer, or you can choose to reschedule this until tomorrow, when we can have a conflict attorney available for you.
We
Which
can
would,
proceed today, Your Honor, to avoid any further inconvenience. for
okay,
everyone.
so you'd like to move forward without a lawyer, is that correct?
That will suffice, Your Honor, given the
Okay.
nature of the charges. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Goodwin, you've been charged in case 22CR004120E with terroristic threats, willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer, and disorderly conduct. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
First arrest, resident of Fort Bragg, North Carolina.
All right, Mr. Segura?
This case occurred yesterday, June 27th, 2022, at the instant location of the Central Library and Library Headquarters located at 126 Carnegie Way, Northwest Atlanta. In this incident, officers made contact with a Miss Quanesha Nix. Quanesha spelled Quanesha Nix, NIX, in which Ms. Nix stated that the defendant was inside the library who was being unruly and threatening other patrons and herself. Ms. Nix stated that defendant went up to Ms. Nix and threatened to beat her children's ass and to beat her ass as well. At that point, a witness, Ms. Marshall Mobley, Marshall common spelling, Mobley, Mobley, and a co-victim, Ms. Audrey Jones, Audrey, Audry, and Jones common spelling, who is a security guard at that location, attempted to escort the defendant off the property. At that point, the defendant walked up to the face of Ms. Jones, in which he stood in a stance which Ms. Jones felt that she was about to be attacked. At that point, the officers attempted to handcuff the defendant, but he tended to refuse. In which, in this case, the defendant ended up struggling and ended up knocking off a body camera off the police officer's uniform. At that point, the officer took taser out, activated it, and the defendant was arrested. Because of this, the state is recommending a $2,000 surety bond, $1,000 for terroristic threats, $500 for the obstruction of the law enforcement officer, and $500 for disorderly conduct. We're also asking for the conditions of no alcohol, drugs, and weapons, a stay from the Central Library at the 126 Carnegie Way, Northwest Atlanta location, no further contact with Quenisha Nix and Audrey Jones, and at BHET as well. We spoke with the victims earlier today, in which Ms. Nix stated that she's also a security guard at the library, and when she stated that she was called out to the library to help out with the defendant who was being unruly and refusing to leave. At that point, and she confirmed the warrant in which the defendant made threatening remarks to her as well as to other staff in the library. And Ms. Jones, she also confirmed the same incident in which she attempted to break up the fight between the defendant and Ms. Nix. And as usual, about the defendant's unruly behavior, in which she also began threatening her as well. Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Goodwin, are you a resident of Georgia, or do you live in Fort Bragg?
It was in Fort Bragg in 2012. I don't actually recall an arrest on Fort Bragg. I was never arrested in my.
Okay.
But
I just want to hold up, Mr. Goodwin. You have a right to remain silent. I'm just trying to figure out if you live in Georgia or if you live in Fort Bragg.
I'm a Rochester, New York native. I'm not a Georgia resident. I've only been here 6 months.
Okay, but you're living here at the present time?
Correct.
Okay, that's all I want to know. All right. So because of your history, I'm going to give you a signature bond. And it's going to be $2,000 for the terroristic threats, $1,000 for the obstruction, and $1,000 for the disorderly conduct. It's going to be a $4,000 total signature bond, and it's going to be through pretrial. You cannot go back to 126 Carnegie Way, and no further contact with Ms. Nix, Mr. Mobley, and Ms. Jones.
Yes, Your Honor.
No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Goodwin.
What's that total?
4,000.
That's per judge.
Okay. And you heard that he is living here now, didn't you, Mr. Howard?
Yeah, I heard.
Okay. All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Goodwin.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Who do we have next?
Next, we have position number 12, Mr. James Sims.
And he was in need of a conflict attorney also?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Sims. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Sims, let's see. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present at these proceedings. Unfortunately, we do not have a conflict attorney available today. If you would like to move forward today, that would mean that you would have to move forward pro se or without the advice of a lawyer. If you would like to have a lawyer's advice, we'll have to reschedule you for tomorrow. What would you like to do?
I would like to have go on today. I would like to have a lawyer.
You would like to have a lawyer?
No, sir.
Okay, you would like to move present
Yes, sir.
For today? All right.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Sims, you've been charged in case 22 CR 004127D with battery, family violence, and criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
I got his last arrest being in 1981. State, do you show the same?
We show no criminal history.
Okay.
All right. Good afternoon, Ms. Tortorella.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. The state is asking for a $4,500 surety bond for the battery, family violence, and for the criminal trespass, a $2,000 surety bond. That'll be a total of $6,500. No contact with the victim, and her name is Cassandra Johnson. Cassandra is spelled C-A-S as in Sam, S as in Sam, A, N as in Nancy, D-R-A. That he stay away from 468 Parkway Northeast Drive, apartment 107 in Atlanta. That he take a one-day anger management class, no drugs or alcohol, no weapons, and no new violations of Georgia law. Your Honor, we are reviewing this case for a felony transfer, as the facts do indicate that he took a gun from the home that day that didn't belong to him. On June 13, 2022, the Atlanta Police Department was dispatched to 468 Parkway Northeast Drive, the incident location in reference to a domestic dispute. Upon arrival, the officer spoke to the victim, Cassandra Johnson, who stated she received a
I'm
call.
sorry, Ms. Tortorella. I hate to interrupt you.
Yes,
Ms.
Your Honor.
Henderson, if you're in court right now. If you're gonna eat, I'll need for you to go off camera or stop eating, okay? That's distracting. Thank you. I apologize, Ms. Tortorella. Go ahead.
No worries. Upon arrival, the officer spoke to Ms. Cassandra Johnson, who stated she received a call from the defendant, James Sims, her ex-husband, prior to the incident. Shortly after the phone call from the defendant, Ms. Johnson heard a knock at her door. Ms. Johnson opened the door, and it was the defendant who told her that he needed to talk to her. Ms. Johnson said the defendant forced his way into the residence and immediately assaulted her by slapping her, causing a cut under her nose. Ms. Johnson stated the defendant also punched her in the back with a closed fist. After the assault, the defendant grabbed Ms. Johnson's boyfriend's gun along with other items and fled the scene. Ms. Johnson was able to identify the defendant by a picture. A defendant was arrested, and all these events did occur in Fulton County, Georgia. Your Honor, we are asking for that surety bond of $6,500 total due to possibly him intimidating the witness, the victim, while out on bond, and the nature of what occurred here in this case, Your Honor. So for that reason, we're asking for $6,500 surety bond, and with the conditions stated. Nothing further.
Okay, for the battery, family violence, it's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial. For the criminal trespass, a $1,000 signature bond through pretrial, which makes for a total of a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial. One-day anger awareness class, no further contact with Ms. Johnson, and stay away from the Parkway Northeast Drive address, 468. Address, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Mr. Sims, let me make this clear to you. You're getting a signature bond, but you're to have absolutely no contact with Ms. Johnson. No contact means no phone contact, no personal contact, no email contact, no social media contact, no contact whatsoever. You understand me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Sims.
But pass this on, Your Honor. I didn't steal his gun.
Okay, Mr. Sims, you have a right to remain silent. I've given you a signature bond, so you will have the opportunity to speak with a lawyer before your next court date. So if you want to save all of that for what you have to say for your lawyer as you're getting a signature bond, and we'll be able to sign yourself out, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Next, Your Honor, we have position number 14, Mr. Sean Williams.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Mr. Williams. You're in the same circumstance. We do not have a conflict attorney available to represent you. You do have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have a right to have an attorney present at these proceedings. We don't have a conflict attorney available today. So you can either wait for a conflict attorney for tomorrow, or you can move forward pro se today, meaning without the advice of a lawyer. Which would you like to do?
I would prefer to move forward today.
Okay. Mr. Williams, you've been charged in case 22 CR 004122B with willful destruction of a law enforcement officer. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
6 total. Last arrest was 2010 for DUI. It was dismissed. He got an arrest out of Texas, 04 assault conviction. Also has history out of Louisiana. Last arrest there was 01 ag assault.
Okay, Ms. Tortorella?
Yes, Your Honor. We're asking for a $2,000 surety bond for the obstruction charge. The conditions is that he have no drugs or alcohol while out on bond, no weapons, and no new violations of Georgia law. Your Honor, this case is still under investigation in our office. We just received it. There's some things that just don't link up, and we're trying to figure out whether or not this defendant was in fact involved in the robbery. On June 5th, 2022, defendant Sean Williams did knowingly and willfully obstruct and hinder Corporal Clark of the MARTA Police Department, a law enforcement officer, in the lawful discharge of his duties by responding no to Corporal Clark when Corporal Clark asked him if anyone in his bus was being harassed. Corporal Clark did not go inside the bus to check if all the passengers were okay. A victim with the last name of Murkison was being held against his will during a robbery inside that bus. The defendant was arrested, and all these events did occur in Fulton County, Georgia. The last name of the victim is spelled M as in Mary, Erkeson for the record. We're also like to add a no contact with the victim. Your Honor, this defendant is a multi-state offender, as you heard from pretrial. 3 cycles out of Louisiana, 1 cycle out of Texas, 2 cycles out of Georgia. His last arrest was in 2010 for DUI. However, he does have those violent convictions, a violent conviction of assault back in 2004 and an aggravated assault arrest out of Louisiana in 2001. Though this has been way past the 10-year mark, Your Honor, this does show that he could commit violent offenses while out on bond, Your Honor. So for that reason, we're asking for that $2,000 surety bond. Nothing further from the state.
Okay, it's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail, no further contact with the alleged victim, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Williams.
Next, Your Honor, we have position number 5, Mr. Jackson.
Good afternoon, Mr. Jackson. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Jackson, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present at these proceedings. It's my understanding that you would be in need of a conflict attorney. We do not have any available today, so you have the option of proceeding pro se without the advice of a lawyer, or you can wait until tomorrow that we can get you an attorney. Which would you like to do?
I'd like to proceed for today.
Okay, Mr. Jackson, you've been charged in case 22 CR 004128Y with obstruction of a law enforcement officer and lawyer and prowling. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Second arrest. Last arrest was in December in Cobb County. Death by taking and obstruction. It's open.
Mr. Segura?
Actually, for this case, there should be 3 charges. There was a possession by a pistol by a person under 18 charge. The accusation was submitted around 11:20, but for some reason, the task still says it's pending. So for some reason, it's not showing up.
I'm sorry, Mr. Segura. I didn't understand what you were saying?
Initially, there were 3 charges: obstruction of a law enforcement officer, loitering and prowling, and possession of a pistol by a person under 18. For some reason, that third charge, even though it was submitted into the system, is not showing up.
The possession of a pistol?
Yeah, so should be 3 charges.
Okay, well, that makes a difference. So do we have was the possession of a pistol, has that been accused?
Yes, it's been accused, submitted, and it just says it's still pending. The status is pending in the finding. So from
Okay,
my end, everything is done. It's just pending for the jail. That accusation is still pending and does not have a CR number yet.
All right, so we have an obstruction. Is the obstruction and the loitering, have you accused those?
All them accused around the same time. It's just that the possession by pistol charge was not given a CR number yet, and that charge is still pending. But the other 2 have been already have CR numbers on them.
Okay, so what are you asking me to do today? If it's pending and doesn't have a number, I mean, what do you want me to do with that, Mr. Segura?
I'm not exactly sure what they're not first time experience in this, but at least I'm not exactly sure what is the typical to go, since I mean everything should be completed, but for some reason it's not showing up.
Mr. Jordan here today?
Calling him now.
Okay, thank you. Can we go to someone else while we figure out this other charge, please?
Yes, Your Honor. We can go to position number 4, Mr. Henderson. I believe he has a private attorney.
Okay,
Judge, he about to hop on the Zoom now.
Your Honor,
yes.
regarding Mr. Henderson, the attorney Matthew Ensline represents him in another matter. He is observing the case today per my conversation with him. So I will be proceeding with the misdemeanor charges before you today.
Okay, all right, and very good. So good afternoon, Mr. Henderson. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Henderson, you've been charged in case 22 CR 004123G with obstruction of a law enforcement officer, loitering or prowling, possession of a pistol by a person under 18. Does this flow out of the same charges as position 5?
They're both coalesced and they're both charged with exact same charges.
Okay, all right. So is there a history, Mr. Howard?
So this is second adult. Last arrest was in December for theft by taking and obstruction. The charge I put in the chat for you,
Uh-huh.
that's a FB 440 case, so he's out on pretrial for that.
Okay. All right, Mr. Segura.
This occurred yesterday, June 27th, 2022 at 31 8th Street, Atlanta. In this instance, it was close to 1:48 a.m. in the morning in which police were dispatched to the incident location because 2 individuals were looking into vehicles. This was witnessed by a witness who was the one that called the police. The witness saw that 2 males went into the parking lot. They walked past the gate arms on ground level and walked up to the second level. When police arrived, the officer saw 2 individuals looking into multiple vehicles and putting on door handles to see if they could find a vehicle that was left unlocked. At that point, the officer told the defendant to not move, at which point both individuals, the defendant and his co-arrest, decided to run off. They were later stopped and arrested. When they were checked, they both had firearms in their waistbands. And because of this, and based on information that defendants told the police, they had no vehicles at their location and had no actual reason to be there since they didn't have any vehicles. The state was recommending a $6,000 surety bond, $1,000 for the loitering, $2,000 for the prowling, and $3,000 for the possession of a gun by an individual under 18. We're also asking for the conditions of no alcohol, drugs, and weapons while out on bond, and a stay away from 31 Eve Street, Atlanta. Foundations are based on these facts. There's also concerns that there could be a risk of reoffending, as back in December, there was a definite obstruction. And outside, this defendant is only 17, so we all did be concerned about what situations going on and what types of, it could be another risk of reoffending. Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Gant?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Malik Henderson is 17 years old. He has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area since 2015. He has family here, including his mother and 2 additional siblings. Mr. Henderson graduated high school and he plans to enroll in the military, specifically the Marines. He is currently employed at Regal Movie Theaters at Atlantic Station. He has been working there since March of 2022. Your Honor, we are denying the allegations today, and while I acknowledge my client's history, he is presumed innocent in any open cases, Your Honor. We did not hear about any FTAs, and I'm requesting a signature bond, and if Your Honor determines that he is ineligible, I would ask for the lowest bond possible, specifically $500 for the weapons or firearms charge and $250 for the remaining charges. I have been in contact with his mother, Ms. Demetrius Henderson. She is actually observing the Zoom hearing today, and she informs me that she does not have the means to pay anything for him toward bonds. She is in fact receiving benefits for healthcare, food, and rental assistance. Therefore, she just doesn't have the means to help him. She has 2 other minor children, ages 2 and 14. So for these reasons, Your Honor, we are requesting a signature bond, or in the alternative, a bond of no more than $1,000. Thank you.
Okay, so for the obstruction, 500 good bond. For the loitering and prowling, $500 good bond. For the possession of a pistol, $2,000 good bond, makes it a total of a $3,000 good bond. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Was there a stay away, Mr. Segura?
Yes, to stay away from 31 Eve Street, Atlanta.
Oh, okay, 31 Eve Street. Okay, anything further?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Jordan, did we find out anything regarding that other charge for position 5, Mr. Jackson?
What was the question on the charges?
Apparently, we're in the process, or the state is in the process of getting the possession of a pistol accused and getting a number for it.
And that's for Jackson?
Yes. And I need to know what, if that's.
So
if-
Is that supposed to be under this case, Judge?
It's, Mr. Segura, were all these papers submitted at the same time, all these charges?
Roughly so. The first 2 was at 10:48, and the last gun charge, because that charge initially had a MAGC number on it, it needed to be unlinked, but that one was submitted at 11:40.
Okay, I just need to know what to do, because I'm gonna give him a bond on these, but we will need a number to go along with it. I don't want him to stay in jail because of the paperwork. You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
Right, so does it need to be added to this particular case, the 4128Y case? Because if so, I can pull it into the case. That's not
Yes, all of them are exactly the same time. It's just that for some reason, this was not given ACR number.
So I'm adding it to position 5, Judge.
Okay, thank you. Can we bring Mr. Jackson back up, please? Mr. Jackson, you're gonna have the same bond as Mr. Henderson, 500 for the good bond for the obstruction, 500 for the loitering and prowling, and 2,000 for the possession of a pistol. Stay away from the 31 Eve Street address, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Okay?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Jordan. Who do we have next?
Next, we have position number 1, Mr. R. Tripley.
Good afternoon, Mr. Archipley. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 004126C with criminal trespass and damage to property. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
All I have is a 1998 dangerous drugs out of Michigan.
Okay. Mr. Segura?
As occurred yesterday, June the 27th, 2022, at the incident location of 16054 Manor Club Drive, Milton. In this instance, I actually spoke with the defendant because initially, we spoke with the victim, Miss Jolene Archipay. Jolene spelled Jolene, Archipay, ARCHIPLEY. And we stated that that the defendant came over to her house to pick up the children that they shared together. At that point, there was a verbal argument that became physical. Ms. Archipay stated that that the altercation escalated. The defendant began to choke her and then threw her against the wall. At that point, she tried to get a phone to call a friend and record the defendant who was attacking her. At that point, the defendant snatched the phone out of her hand and intended to leave, and then refused to give her back her phone. At that point, Ms. Archipay ended up going into his vehicle and refused to get out unless he gave her back her phone back, at which point the defendant threw her phone away. At that point, the defendant told Ms. Archipay that, quote, "You'll be dead by tomorrow. And also, quote, I hope you enjoy your life because you're about to be done." At that point, when I also started talking to her, they did not notice any visible injuries, but she is frightened of him. She said she wants to have no contact with the defendant, no physical contact with him, with the children, unless there's a third party transfer, and to stay away from a residence, which is at incident location. And she is in the process of filing for TPO. Because of this, these facts, and because of deep concern, especially because the defendant went in to essentially kill the Ms. Archipay, and it seemed to be intention as they are divorced, and there's not enough of a cooling off period since this only happened about 5 p.m. yesterday. So because of this, we're asking for a $5,000 surety bond, no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. Stay away from the 16054 Manor Club Drive, Milton address. No further contact with Jolene Archipay, and third-party transfer of the children. Thank you.
Mr. Segura, the only charge I have on the calendar is a criminal trespass and damage to property. Is that correct?
Yes, that's when we got these facts after the accusation was already sent, because the warrant itself only stated that the part about the defendant took a phone away, but we don't have the other facts as well. So this is the context in which this case.
Okay, so, but I'm trying to be clear. The only charge I have before me at the present time is a criminal trespass and damage to property. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Gant?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Brian Archipay is 48 years old. He has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area his entire life. No, I'm sorry, for 9 years. He is the proud father of 3 children, ages 10, 8, and 4. He shares joint custody with the complaining witness, Ms. Jolene Archipay. Your Honor, he also pays child support. We are opposed to the stay away at the incident location. Mr. Archipay informs me that that is in fact his address. He informs me that she has been evicted but refuses to leave. Further, Mr. Archipay has a master's degree in addictions and I can't read my own handwriting, but he has a master's degree, at least in addictions. He works at Summit Wellness Group. He has been employed there for 3 years. Your Honor, Mr. Archipay denies the allegations. And again, this is a criminal trespass property damage charge. He is recommended for this misdemeanor offense. I am requesting a signature bond, Your Honor. And again, we are opposed to the stay away. My client wants contact. However, I did reach out to Ms. Archipay. She did not give me a definitive answer. Of course, she's here to express her wishes to the court, and we would not oppose third-party transfer. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Archibald, I see you here. If you would like to address the court, you don't have to address the court, but if you would like to address the court, I would need for you to unmute yourself, activate your camera, and I'll need to swear you in. Okay, it appears that she does not wish to address the court. It's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. No further contact with Ms. Archibald. Stay away from the 16054 address. He can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that he might have there. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
And third-party transfer, Your Honor?
Yes, and third-party transfer of the minors. All right, good luck to you, Mr. Archibald.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next, Your Honor, we have position number 3, Mr. Granville, position number 3.
Good afternoon, Mr. Granville. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. You've been charged in case 22 CR 0041119J with criminal trespass and obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
24 total. Last arrest was 2019. Simple battery, family violence. He's on probation for arson in the first degree. October 2017, they gave him 5 years probation. 16 SC 147668 is the case number. 2019 probation violation, 2018 probation violation for the arson. 13 FTAs for theft by taking, battery, and robbery. That robbery is 13 SC 119811. Got a freight conviction from 2012. 2012 probation violation, ag assault. 2011 shoplifting conviction, 2008 probation. Battery, second and subsequent offense conviction from 2007.
All right, thank you, Mr. Howard. Mr. Segura?
This occurred yesterday, June the 27th, 2022, in which officers responded to an open door, a dispatch call at the Lennox Place located at 2572 Lennox Road, Northeast Atlanta. In this instance, when they were canvassing the incident location, also saw the defendant peep out of window wearing all black, and they hid once the defendant saw the police. At that point, the police started to check out the back area of that unit, in which they saw that there was an open window. And then at that point, they also saw another officer, saw the defendant walking back inside of the complex. The defendant was told to stop, but instead decided to flee on foot, at which point he was caught and arrested. When trying to figure out what was happening, they noticed that the unit was vacant, and they noticed that the screen window was taken out and was open in order for the defendant to gain entry. Because of this, the state is recommending a $3,000 surety bond, $2,000 for the criminal trespass, and $1,000 for the obstruction, for the conditions of no alcohol, drugs, and weapons, and to stay away from Lennox Place, located at the 2572 Lennox Road, Northeast Atlanta address. Recommendations are based on these facts, as well as special concerns that he could be a risk of reoffending. As this case, it was 2:30 at night, so we're not sure exactly what reason he was there. And also, we are concerned it could be a flight risk and not show up when his due court date, as he does have a 2016 FTA, a 2018 probation violation, a 2019 probation violation, and also he has an outstanding warrant for an FTA, which was from April the 6th of 2022. And because of this, we ask for a surety bond. Thank you.
Ms. Gant?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Alonzo Granville is 44 years old. He has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area his entire life. He does have family here, including a 22-year-old. Mr. Granville is residentially challenged, Your Honor, and we are connecting him with our social worker to address that issue. We are unopposed to the stay away at the incident location. Mr. Granville completed high school. He also went on to learn how to do home improvements, landscaping, and barbering. Your Honor, at this time, he is marginally employed at Suzanne's Kitchen. He does not have the means to pay anything toward bond. He also advises me that he is helping his father who has some health issues. Today, we are denying the allegations, and Your Honor, despite my client's history, I am requesting a signature bond just based on the nature of the allegations. He is presumed innocent. If Your Honor determines that he is ineligible, I would ask for the lowest bond possible, as he just doesn't have the means to bond out, Your Honor. Thank you.
It's going to be a $500 good bond per charge, makes it for a total of $1,000 good bond. Stay away from the 2572 Lennox Road address, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Granville.
Thank you, Ms. Wanda.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. You're welcome, sir.
Next, we have position number 7, Mr. Lewis.
Good afternoon, Mr. Lewis. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Lewis, you've been charged in case 22 CR 004125F with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Yeah, 10, you got 10 total. Last arrest was on the 14th of this month for shoplifting. Before that was May, criminal trespass. April, obstruction, trespass at Georgia State. Another April arrest for shoplifting. November 2021, trespass, shoplifting, that's open in state court. 2020 probation violation out of Coweta County, stalking. He was convicted for that in 2020. Yeah, the 2006 robbery conviction. So he got, let's see, he got, the open case in state court. That's what he has. It's 21 CR 006.
What is the name of?
Hold on, Mr. Lewis. Hold on. Go ahead, Mr. Howard.
21 CR 006 805C.
Thank you. Mr. Segura.
This occurred on June the 27th, 2022, in which officers were dispatched to a call at the Wildwood Park located at 405 Fairbairn Road, Southwest Atlanta, in which when the police arrived, they spoke with a reporting party named Rick Wright, common spelling, who advised police that the defendant has a previous criminal trespass on that location, which is in the apartment complex. And when police came to see the defendant, he was in the rear of the leasing office. When they encountered the defendant walked away until he reached a different address, at which point with several other officers, they were able to detain the defendant. And upon further investigation, they were able to find that he did have a trespass on the location from April the 27th of 2022. The state is recommending a $2,000 surety bond with the conditions of no alcohol, drugs, and weapons, and a stay away from the Wildwood Park at the 405 Fairbairn Road, Southwest Atlanta location. Conditions of business facts are also concerned about the risk of reoffense, as the defendant does have a May 28th, 2022 criminal trespass arrest, as well as has a guilty criminal trespass conviction 22 CR 002130C, which is from April the 8th of 2022. Alongside, he has another an open criminal trespass case 21 CR 006806C, which is from November of 2021. Alongside, he also has a probation violation in 2020. And because of this, we're asking for a surety bond. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Kellon Lewis is 36 years old. He has been in the Atlanta, Georgia since 1991. He does have a brother here, Mr. Shadrick Mathis. I have been in contact with his brother. His brother is unable to provide any assistance to Mr. Lewis at this time for bond. Your Honor, we are unopposed to the stay away at the incident location. Mr. Lewis advises me that that is his former residence. He does not have any belongings remaining there. Mr. Lewis he obtained a GED, and at this time he is unemployed and has been so for a number of years. He is also residentially challenged. I am putting him in contact with our social workers so that they can provide assistance to him. He denies the allegations, and we are requesting a signature bond, Your Honor, as he does not have the means to pay anything. If Your Honor determines that he's ineligible, then I would ask for the lowest bond possible. Thank you.
It's going to be a $500 good bond. Stay away from the Fairburn Road address. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond.
A signature bond, right?
No.
Mr. Lewis, I'll give you a call about your bond, okay?
But listen to me, annex is the reason why. all this
Mr.
stuff
Lewis
is going
remains
on. They
silent.
have my debit card and they haven't been able to come up with it. I got
Mr.
arrested
Lewis,
at
we
that corner
spoke about
store
that.
where
Remain silent. I do apologize, Your
corner
Honor.
stores and
Courtroom 2, I believe that we have concluded the business with Mr. Lewis. Ms. Gant will call him at a later time. Thank you.
I apologize, Your Honor. Next,
No
we
worries.
have position number 6, Mr. Ledford, Everett Ledford.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ledford. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
I do agree, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ledford. You've been charged in case 22 CR 004124E with hit and run, duty of a driver to stop or return to an accident scene, reckless driving, 2 counts, erratic lane change, and 2 counts of that also. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
7 total. Last arrest was in 1993.
Okay. Mr. Segura?
This occurred on June 25th, 2022, in the Interstate 285 northbound roadway. In this case, a Major V. Dixon Bradford was negotiating a curve to the right at that location on southwest on the ramp from Interstate 285 north to Campbellton Road when she was in a police vehicle. At that point, the defendant was traveling behind her. And when he was driving, the defendant improperly passed her but driving on the left shoulder. At that point, he tended to make an improper lane change, which ended with the result of the defendant striking Officer Bradford's vehicle on the driver's side. This ended up resulting in Officer Bradford being pushed to the right shoulder and hitting a guardrail. At that point, Officer Bradford was transported to Grady Hospital, but before that, the defendant fled the scene quickly. At some point in the highway, he stopped his vehicle, abandoned his vehicle, and then fled. Later period, he was caught, and during this time, he also committed a different reckless by side sweeping a silver Nissan Altima, and by doing so, he also failed to maintain lane when he did so. Because of this, we are asking for an $8,000 surety bond, $5,000 for the hit and run, $1,000 each for the reckless driving, $500 each for the improper lane change, for a total of $8,000 surety bond, and no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. You know, his arrest records are kind of remote. We do acknowledge his dangerous actions in which he nearly caused serious injuries and maybe could have caused potential death to an officer when he was driving. And not only that, he fled the scene and then went off when he saw an opportunity to do so. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, it's going to be a $500 signature bond for each charge, which makes it a $2,500 signature bond through the jail. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Does that suit you, Ms. Gant?
It does, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Ledford.
Your Honor.
Your Honor, you said that's through the jail?
Yes.
Thank you. Next, we have position number 8, Mr. Jeffrey Mackey. Mackey. Back. Come on, come on. Come on, you up. You up. You got it. Breathe. Come on, man. Go home. You can do it. What? Come back. There you go. Come on, man. Got it. Go. Good job. Good job. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, you're fine.
Sit right here. Sit right here. Sit right here, Mike. Good job.
All right, good afternoon, Mr. Mackey. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Mackey, I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar. We're holding this calendar by video today. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Let's see, Mr. Mackey, you've been charged in case 22 CR 004117J with criminal trespass. It's my understanding that this is his first arrest. Ms. Tortorella?
Yes, Your Honor. On June 27th, 2022, defendant Jeffrey Mackey did knowingly and intentionally enter and remain on the premises of Publix at 1100-300 Hammond Drive in Sandy Springs without consent. The defendant was issued a criminal trespass warning on June 23rd, 2022 for the whole property of 1100 Hammond Drive, so for that whole shopping plaza. The security found the defendant and ordered him to leave, and the defendant refused. The defendant was arrested by the Sandy Springs Police Department, and all these events did occur in Fulton County, Georgia. Your Honor, given the fact that he has no criminal history, we are asking for a $1,000 signature bond, conditions that he stay away from the entire shopping complex at 1100 Hammond Drive in Sandy Springs. No drugs or alcohol, no weapons, and no new violations of Georgia law while he's out on bond. Nothing further from the state.
Okay, so that signature bond will go through the jail. And I take it that that's all fine with you, Ms. Gant?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Mackey, you can't go back over there to Hammond Drive, that complex, you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck to you, sir. It's $1,000 signature bond through the jail.
Come on, you got it? There you go. Good job. Next, we have position number 9, Mr. Mercy. Is actually M-U-R-C-Y, Your Honor. It's not M-U-R-Y.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mercy. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir, I do.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 004116F with battery, family violence, and possession of marijuana less than an ounce. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
20 total. Got history out of Alabama, South Carolina. I'm gonna start with Georgia first. Last arrest in Georgia, 2020, probation violation. 2019 FTA for simple battery. 2018 probation violation for ag battery. 2018 possession of cocaine conviction. He had a 2014 simple battery that was dismissed. The ag battery conviction came from 2013. 2009 probation violation, disorderly conduct. As far as Alabama, last arrest was 2016 for a weapons offense. 2016 unlawful possession of a controlled substance. 2015 FTA for interference with DV emergency. Failure to appear by strangulation. Got a 2014 arrest. Those were the original charges in 2014. 2013 South Carolina breach of peace. 2012 breach of peace conviction. That's it.
Ms. Tortorella?
Yes, Your Honor. For the battery family violence, the state's asking for a $10,000 surety bond. For the marijuana charge, a $1,000 surety bond, and that's a total of $11,000 surety bond. No contact with the victim. Her name is Ashanti Green, like the color, Your Honor, Green, and she is on the Zoom, in the Zoom hearing right now, Your Honor. Stay away from the incident location at 100 Alabama Street in Atlanta. And to add, Your Honor, no contact with the victim and her child. We're also asking that he must be legitimized and show proof to the court if he wants contact with his child, to stay away from the residence, the victim's residence, no drugs or alcohol, no weapons, and no new violations of Georgia law. Your Honor, on June 27th, 2022, the defendant, Branzavius, we have it on record as Musey, did intentionally punch victim Ashanti Green, the mother of his child, in the face and head several times with a closed fist. Ms. Green sustained a swollen lump on her forehead and several bloody lacerations on her face and neck. Upon being detained by the Atlanta Police Department, the defendant was in possession of 7 grams of marijuana. The defendant was arrested, and these events occurred in Fulton County, Georgia. Your Honor, this case is under review in our office for felony transfer, as the victim provided more information to our office. We were able to speak to her. The victim said that the defendant does not live with her. She stated that the defendant does not have any legal rights to the child and that someone else has taken that responsibility and signed the birth certificate. The victim stated she was doing the defendant a favor that day by driving him somewhere. She further stated that the defendant became angry while she was driving and began punching her window. The victim stated that she stopped the car and the defendant snatched her keys out of the ignition and attempted to leave. The victim stated she grabbed his shirt to prevent him from leaving with her keys and got dragged out of the car. The victim stated that this is when the defendant began punching and choking her. She stated that she could not breathe while he was choking her and began seeing white. The victim also stated that the defendant had a gun on him and threatened to shoot her at her and her service dog. The victim sustained a knot on her forehead, bruises and scratches all over her face, chest, and neck. And she wants no contact with this defendant and she's going to pursue a TPO. Victim also does not want the defendant to have any contact with their child. To add, Your Honor, with what the victim has stated, I see on his record, he has arrest for a weapon, carrying a firearm, no license, out of Alabama, 2016. He was arrested for family violence, domestic strangulation, interference with emergency call out of Alabama, 2014. Most recent arrest, Your Honor, convictions, 2018 aggravated battery out of DeKalb County Superior Court. Under the First Offender Act, he did plea. However, he violated his probation for this on December 18, 2018. So therefore, that's a conviction. Marijuana less than an ounce, Gwinnett County State Court, 2014. 2013, convicted of assault on an EMS firefighter or home care provider out of South Carolina. He has various VOPs on his record, Your Honor, FTAs, 2019 FTA out of Fulton and a 2015 FTA out of Jefferson County, Alabama. He is a multi-state offender. For that reason, Your Honor, we're pleading to this court that you grant an $11,000 surety bond on this defendant. Nothing further.
Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Mortsey is 31 years old. He was born and raised here in Georgia. He has 2 children, 9 and 3 years old, and he is currently separated. And he has his siblings here in Georgia. He has been working in Mexican restaurants, and he got a new job about 3 days ago, and this happened. So he's not going to be able. He's kind of afraid that he's going to lose a job, and he has 2 years and 1 semester of college education. We would like to request for $1,000 maximum from surety bond, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
Ms. Green, I see you there. You're not required to, but if you would like to address the court, you'll have to unmute yourself and I'll have to swear you in. Would you like to address the court, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can put your hand down, ma'am. What would you like to tell the court?
I've known him for about 4 years now, and my son's almost 4. And I didn't know any of this past history. Had I known it, we wouldn't even have a child together. So that's all I have to say. I already filed for a TPO, and that's it.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. It's for the battery, it's gonna be a $4,000 good bond. For the marijuana, $1,000 good bond makes for a total of a $5,000 good bond. No further contact with Ashanti Green. Stay away from the 100 Alabama Street location. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. And just so I can make it clear what no contact means exactly what it says, absolutely no contact, no personal contact, no phone contact, no email contact, no social media contact, no contact whatsoever. If there's contact whatsoever, you'll be in violation of this bond and it will be revoked. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. That was both of us, right?
Well, that's for you since you're the one that's here. Good luck to you both.
Thank you, sir. Have a great day.
Do the same.
We got position number 10, Mr. Pride, position number 10.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pride. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 004118C with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
4th arrest. Last arrest was in April for criminal trespass. Hold on. Yeah, that was on Martyr. Before that was 2017, possession of marijuana. Got a 2019 out of Florida for larceny, grand theft. It just says charge filed, so it appears to still be open. And that's a felony in the 3rd degree. That's it.
Ms. Tortorella?
Yes, Your Honor. We are asking for the $1,500 surety bond to remain as set. The conditions is that he stay away from the incident location, which is MARTA, the Westlake Station, 80 Anderson Avenue in Atlanta. That he have no drugs or alcohol, no weapons, and no new violations of Georgia law while he's out on bond. Your Honor, he is currently in violation of a bond order under his open case, that's 22 CR 002633F for criminal trespass and obtaining unlawful entry. The offense date was April 29th, 2022. In his previous bond order, signed by Judge Law on April 30th, 2022, it was granted a $1,000 signature bond with a stay away from all MARTA locations until the suspension had been lifted. So he's currently in violation under this bond order, his previous bond order, and he's currently has an outstanding warrant where he is wanted in Sarasota, Florida. And I'm presuming that's what pretrial is talking about with that 2019 larceny grand theft arrest. He's wanted out of Florida right now, Your Honor. On June 27th, 2022, defendant Donald Pride did knowingly and intentionally enter the MARTA Westlake Station at 80 Anderson Avenue in Atlanta without the owner's consent. Defendant had an active MARTA suspension when the offense was committed. The defendant was arrested, and all the events did occur in Fulton County, Georgia. So for that reason, Your Honor, we're asking for the bond amount to remain as the same, the $1,500 surety bond. He's a multi-state offender. He's currently wanted and currently under a violation of his previous bond order. And nothing further from the state.
Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Donald Pride is 20 4 years old, and he has been here in Georgia all his life. He has no children, he's not married, and however, he has a family members who are residing here. He's got a new job and he's really excited about his job. And he thought his Martin suspension was actually expired. And apparently it was the last day, I guess, that he got arrested for this. There was a 1 day mistake that he had. He got a job from Westlake to downtown Peachtree station. That's where he has to go back and forth for his new job. And he graduated from high school. And we would like to request for signature on bond for his criminal trespass because it was an honest mistake. He didn't know about the suspension expiration date clearly. We would like to request that, and also the warrant issue. So Russell, Florida, I guess he has to take care of that part. Thank you, Your Honor.
When did the suspension expire, Ms. Tortorella?
The warrant doesn't state, Your Honor, so I'm assuming that that's not what the facts provided to the state, Your Honor. We don't exactly know the time limits.
Okay. All right, I'm going to give you another opportunity, Mr. Pride. $1,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from MARTA while you have active suspensions or an active suspension in place. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good luck to you, sir.
Your Honor, you said jail, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. And next we have position number 13, Mr. Scott Thompson.
Good afternoon, Mr. Thompson. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Thompson, you've been charged in case 22 CR 004121F with driving under the influence of alcohol less safe. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
No.
You on mute?
Oh, no, there's no history.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Tortorella?
Yes, Your Honor. For the DUI, we're asking for a $5,000 surety bond. The conditions: no driving, no drugs or alcohol, no weapons, and no new violations of Georgia law. Your Honor, on June 28th, 2022, around 12:18 a.m., Johns Creek Police Department were dispatched to the Hilton Garden Inn at 11695 Medlock Bridge Road in Johns Creek in reference to a disorderly person. Per the caller, a white male with a black hoodie was kicking the front glass doors of the hotel and screaming at the clerk. The Officer Cheney arrived at the incident location around 12:19 a.m. and advised units the suspect had pulled out of the hotel parking lot towards East Johns Crossing Boulevard in a dark colored Jeep SUV. Upon hearing Officer Cheney, Officer Knoll and his partner turned on East Johns Crossing Boulevard from Medlock Bridge Road and saw the vehicle in question. Officer Knoll initiated a traffic stop and spoke to the defendant, Scott Thompson, the driver and sole occupant of the vehicle, and asked him about the incident at the hotel. The defendant said he had just left there after having an argument with the hotel clerk about not having a room available for him. Officer Knoll observed the odor of alcoholic beverage emitting from the vehicle, and the defendant had bloodshot eyes. The defendant admitted to having one 22-ounce Busch beer before driving. The defendant agreed to participate in field sobriety evaluations. On the HGN, the officer found 6 out of 6 clues. Officer Knoll did not proceed with the walk and turn or the one-leg stand due to the grade of the roadway at the stop location. The defendant was arrested and read implied consent for drivers over 21 years of age or older. The defendant refused the state-administered blood test, and all these events occurred in Fulton County, Georgia. Your Honor, he doesn't have a criminal history, but he does have a driver's history. He has a 2014 failure to obey stop sign conviction, Sandy Springs Municipal Court. In 2003, another conviction, but this was a Fulton County Magistrate Court for failure to obey signs. 2000 speeding conviction at Monroe Probate Court. and several more speeding convictions, Your Honor, going all the way down to 1996. He has a 2000 FTA, unknown jurisdiction on his driver's history. For this reason, Your Honor, due to the fact that we also have concerns of public safety and that he poses a risk of reoffending, and not only reoffending, Your Honor, but reoffending while he's behind the wheel, we are asking for that $5,000 surety bond. Nothing further.
Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Thompson is 50 years old, and he has been here in Georgia for the last 36 years. He has 2-year-old child, and another one is on the way. He's married, and his siblings here in Georgia. He has been working as a camera tech for Rental House TV production for about 20 years. His current job, he's been there for 4 years, and his last job, he was there for more than 16 years. He has a very strong ties to the communities. He's not a flight risk, and this is his first time ever getting DUI offense or any kind of criminal history. We would like to request for a signature on bond, as pretrial services also recommended for unsecured judicial relief. So he graduated from college, UGA, bachelor's degree. We would like to request for a signature on bond. Thank you.
All right, it's going to be $1,000 good bond, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your
Good
Honor.
luck to you, Mr. Thompson. All right, and I think the last case we have is the interpreter case. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's correct. He's in courtroom 3, Your Honor.
All right, have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
If you raise your right hand, Madam Interpreter, do you swear or affirm that you will translate from Spanish to English and English to Spanish to the best of your ability?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Rios. I'm Judge Eric Morrow, and this is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar.
Buenas tardes, señor Ríos. Yo soy el juez Morrow y esta es la audiencia de listas de causas estatales de trámite rápido.
We're conducting this hearing by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Estamos conduciendo esta teleaudiencia para evitar el contagio del virus. ¿Está de acuerdo que tratemos su caso a través de video?
Sí.
Yes.
You've been charged with simple battery family violence.
Usted tiene un cargo de golpes y lesiones y violencia familiar.
Mr. Howard, is there a history?
¿Hay antecedentes, señor Howard?
Yeah, I'm putting some in the chat for you now.
Sí, los estoy buscando.
I think that was out of Puerto Rico.
En Puerto Rico.
Okay, and is this the only history?
¿El único?
It was a 2008 aggravated weapons arrest.
Era un cargo por agravantes con armas en el 2008.
His last arrest overall was May 2021, suspended license in DeKalb County.
Y en mayo del 2021 por una licencia suspendida en el condado de DeKalb.
He has a City of Atlanta FTA warrant.
Y también tiene una orden de arresto por falta de comparecencia en la ciudad de Atlanta.
State, do you see the charge out of Puerto Rico?
Yes, I sent it to Judge 2 and opposing counsel.
¿Tiene el cargo de Puerto Rico? Sí, se lo envié al juez.
Ms. Tortorella?
Yes, Your Honor. We're asking for a $10,000 cash bond.
Pedimos una fianza de $10,000 en efectivo.
The conditions is that he stay away from the no contact with the victim, and her name is Carmen Rosario.
Le pedimos que no tenga contacto con la víctima, que el nombre es Carmen Rosario.
The last name is R-O, S as in Sam, A-R-I-O.
Se deletrea R-O-S-A-R-I-O.
And she's present in the Zoom hearing, Your Honor.
Y está presente en la plataforma de Zoom ahora.
for him to stay away from a 3965 Esther Drive Southwest in Atlanta,
y que se mantenga alejado del domicilio 3965 Esther Drive sudoeste en Atlanta.
and Esther spelled E as in Sam, T-E-R as in Robert.
Y el nombre de la calle se deletrea E-S-T-E-R.
A-D-E-T. One Day Anger Management.
I'm sorry, can you explain the acronym to be more understandable for them, please?
Yes, it's alcohol, drug evaluation and treatment.
Se requiere una evaluación de alcohol, drogas y tratamiento si se requiere.
One Day Anger Management.
Y una clase de manejo de la ira.
No drugs or alcohol.
Pero queda prohibido las drogas y alcohol.
No weapons.
Y de las armas.
No new violations of Georgia law.
Y que no se vuelva a comentar ningún incumplimiento de la ley de Georgia.
Your Honor, on June 25th, 2022, around 2 a.m., the Atlanta Police Department responded to a fight call at the incident location.
Su señoría, el 25 de junio del 2022, la policía respondió a una llamada por un incidente de violencia en la dirección antes mencionada.
Upon arrival, the officer spoke to the victim, Carmen Rosario, who was standing outside of her home.
Al llegar, la policía habló con la víctima Carmen Rosario, quien estaba fuera de la residencia.
Ms. Rosario said that around 4 p.m., defendant Alex Rios came outside and walked toward an unknown green minivan to retrieve something and went into their bathroom.
La señora Rosario dijo que a eso de las 4 de la tarde, Alex Ríos salió hacia una van desconocida de color verde y volvió adentro y se dirigió al baño.
Ms. Rosario said that around 12 a.m., she heard a loud noise in her bathroom and went into the bathroom, and she observed the defendant on the ground.
La señora Rosario declaró que a las 12 o sea, la medianoche, ella escuchó un ruido fuerte desde el baño. Ella se dirigió hacia el baño y encontró al acusado tirado en el piso.
Ms. Rosario said she grabbed the white substance that was on the counter and flushed it down the toilet.
La señora Rosario dijo que ella tomó la sustancia blanca y la desagotó en el inodoro.
Ms. Rosario said that made the defendant mad, and he grabbed her, then held her down on the bed with his hands around her neck.
La señora Rosario dijo que el acusado se enojó mucho y la tomó y la mantuvo sostenida en la cama, apretándola en el cuello.
And he told her if she called the cops, he will get out of jail in 3 months and kill her.
Y le dijo que si ella llamaba a la policía, él saldría en 3 meses y la mataría.
The defendant was arrested, and all these events occurred in Fulton County, Georgia.
El acusado fue arrestado y todas estas acciones ocurrieron en el estado de Georgia.
Your Honor, we're very concerned about this situation, not only because of the statements that were made.
Estamos muy preocupados por esa situación que ha ocurrido ahora, no solo por estas acciones hechas,
but also for his criminal background.
Pero también por sus antecedentes penales.
specifically those that were mentioned via Zoom chat to you and also sent to the opposing counsel.
Especialmente por los que se le enviaron a usted y también al abogado de la otra parte.
So therefore, the state is concerned of intimidation of the victim and witness in this case.
Por eso la fiscalía teme que ocurra intimidación hacia la víctima en este caso.
And to add, he is a it seems like he's a multi-state offender.
Y también pareciera que él es un ofensor múltiple estatal.
And therefore, Your Honor, he does pose a risk of reoffending while he's out on bond.
Por eso hay un riesgo de que él vuelva a cometer otro incumplimiento mientras permanezca fuera bajo fianza.
We, the state, have grave concerns for this victim, Your Honor.
Y tenemos grandes preocupaciones con respecto a este acusado, su señoría.
And therefore, we're asking for that $10,000 cash bond.
Por eso pedimos una fianza de $10,000 en efectivo.
Nothing further from the state.
Nada más de la fiscalía.
Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor, Mr. Rios is, he has been here in Georgia for about 3 years, and his wife and he have 17 years of marriage. They have 2 children together, 13 and 10.
Ms. Kim?
Yes.
Un momento.
Be
One moment,
cognizant.
please. El señor Ríos ha estado aquí en Georgia por 3 años. Este matrimonio tiene una duración de 17 años y han tenido 2 hijos juntos. Go ahead, ma'am.
I apologize. I'm sorry. And he has been a hairstylist barber for the last 16 years.
Él ha sido un barbero por los últimos 16 años.
And he has 4th grade elementary school education.
Y su educación es de 4 años en la escuela.
And we would like to request for surety bond.
Y pedimos una fianza de garantía para él.
And I believe the amount should be maximum $2,000, Your Honor. His self-employment to cut the hair at his own house is not financially strong.
Y pedimos una fianza de $2,000 en vez de la requerida, ya que él trabaja de manera independiente cortando cabello y no tiene unos ingresos sólidos.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Gracias, su señoría.
I see Ms. Rosario Castro on. Would you ask her if and I don't know if she speaks English or not.
Señora Castro, que usted gustaría hablar, tiene que prender su micrófono. ¿Habla inglés? No, prenda su cámara y micrófono. Puede prender la cámara.
Discúlpeme.
¿Habla inglés? Do you speak English?
Un poco, pero puedo explicarle.
En inglés, yeah. She speaks a little, but I can explain it to you.
Okay, Ms. Rosario Castro, if you would like to address the court, I'm happy to hear what you have to say. Would you like to address the court?
Si usted quiere dirigirse y hablar a este juez, yo voy a estar feliz de escucharlo. ¿Quiere hablarme a mí?
Sí, por favor. Yes.
Yes, please.
Can you raise your right hand, please?
¿Puede levantar su mano derecha, por favor?
Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Usted jura que la Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
You can put your hand down, ma'am.
Si necesita ayuda, déjeme saber. If you need my help, please let the interpreter know.
Okay.
Okay, gracias.
What would you like to tell the court?
Yes, please. I want to talk about the case that he has in Puerto Rico, because we can prove is under my defense. He go to the jail for 11 years, but is on my defense. He never do a damage to me or my kids or something. Is the first time. My only concern is he's on depression right now because he don't have nobody here, just have me and my kids. And I know the job is difficult, economic situation is difficult. We plan to move to Puerto Rico because we have a bad situation right now. And maybe for that reason, it's not justified the situation, but maybe the reason that he used drugs is because all the situation and economic problem that we have. We have an autistic son and he love his father. They don't know his father right now is on jail because they is in Puerto Rico waiting for me and their father, you know. And I don't feel scared about him because it's the first time. He don't hit me. He just tried to push me in the bed and speak me like I'm a man. Sorry for my word. You an asshole or something, but I think he don't know it's me. He's out of his mind. It's the first time. I never see him like that. He's very lovely with me and with my kids, but he needs to learn. I just want his rehabilitation. Don't use more drugs. I just need that because Alex is a good person. Alex go to jail in Puerto Rico for 11 years, but the really quickly details, another person that want to attack me, he just defend me with a knife that the other person have on his hand. He never used a weapon. In the case in Puerto Rico, the charge of weapon is discharged because he never have the weapon in his hand. It's just in defense. But in Puerto Rico, the law work different. And he spent 11 years of his life in the jail. And when he go out 2 years ago, I'm waiting for him. He came here to Georgia, but I'm here. He have a suspended license in DeKalb County. He never lived in DeKalb County, always lived in Fulton. Somebody take his name because when I put my Georgia Power Utility, somebody have Georgia Power Utility in DeKalb, but it's not him. He just have here 2 years and have his ID with Fulton County. And he's very confused. He never lived in DeKalb County, just here. And I decide call the police because in the moment, it's the first time. I never see him before like that. He always respect me and work for me and my family. I'm come back to Puerto Rico because about my diabetes, my health condition, I have glaucoma. I'm partially blind. Right now, when he helped me with all in my home, right now I'm alone. I don't have nobody that helped me to move. And I'm very worried about him because he don't have nobody here, no family, no nothing, just me and his kids. And I don't feel afraid about him. I just need help. The court help me with his rehabilitation. I just need he don't use more drugs. It's not him. He never used drugs before. It's the first time, and I'm very worried about that because I don't want to damage him no more.
Okay, thank you, Ms.
Thank you. Thank you.
Your Honor, the state has some questions for the victim in this case.
Señora, le van a hacer preguntas.
Okay.
Did you call the police the day of, I believe it was June 26, 2022?
Yes.
Okay. Did you tell the police that he put his hands around your neck?
Yes, in the left side like that.
Okay. And did you tell the police that he was going to kill you after he got out of jail?
Yes.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Anything further, Ms. Kim?
Are you afraid of him now?
Señora, ¿le teme a él ahora?
No, para nada. Él no es así.
No,
Inclusive,
not at all. He's not like that.
perdóneme, quisiera añadir algo más. Inclusive, en momentos me hablaba como si yo fuera un hombre. O sea, él no sabía dónde estaba su mente en el momento.
And even at times he would speak to me like if I was a man. He wasn't like aware of who he was talking to.
Do you want him to come back home?
Objection, Your Honor. She's opposing counsel is supposed to be on cross. This is the state's witness.
No, this is just a hearing on bond. So go ahead, Ms. Kim.
Yes.
¿Usted quiere que él regrese a su casa?
Definitivo, siempre y cuando con la condición que se rehabilite, porque él no usaba droga.
Definitely, with the condition he can get rehabilitation because he didn't use drugs before.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay, it's going to be a $2,000 good bond, no further violent contact with Ms. Rosario, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond, which means that Mr. Rios, you cannot use any drugs or alcohol while you're on bond.
Será una fianza de $2,000. No puede tener contacto violento con la señora Rosario. Quedan prohibidas las drogas, el alcohol y el uso de armas durante el periodo en que usted esté fuera bajo fianza. Señor, lo que quiere decir es que usted no puede tener ningún tipo de uso de drogas, armas o alcohol mientras salga bajo fianza.
Good luck to you, sir.
Buena suerte, señor.
You also, Ms. Rosario.
A usted también, señora Rosario.
Gracias, muchas gracias. Y una pregunta, ¿yo puedo llamarla para saber cómo es eso de la fianza? Porque nunca he hecho eso antes.
Thank you so very much, but sir, but can I call someone to understand how the bond works? Because I have never done that before. I don't know anything.
Ms. Kim, will you explain to your client?
Yes.
And he can explain to Ms. Rosario, okay?
Okay.
I'm sorry, the interpreter thinks that she gave the phone number to Ms. Kim?
Yes,
Okay.
I have it. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
I think that completes the calendar for today. Thank you, Madam Interpreter.
You're welcome, sir.
We appreciate it as always.
My pleasure.
I have Ms. Bridgewater in court with me today, and whenever she's ready, we'll go over the calendar.
All right. Thank you, sir. Have a
Okay, we'll
good
see-
evening.
You too. We'll see you
Thank you,
next
Your
time.
Adiós,
Thank
señora.
you.
Puede retirarse.
Thank you. Have a good day. Blessings.
Good afternoon. Once again, the reset date for the SAP calendar is going to be July the 12th. Position number 1 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. Position number 2 is reset further notice with a $4,000 total SOB through pretrial per judge. Position number 3 is reset to the SAP calendar with a $1,000 total good bond. Position 4 is reset to the SAP calendar with a $3,000 total good bond. Position 5 is also set to the SAP calendar with a $3,000 total good bond. Position 6 is reset further notice with a $2,500 total SOB through the jail. Position 7 is going to the SAP calendar with a $500 good bond. Position 8 is reset further notice with a $1,000 SOB through the jail. Position 9 is going to the SAP calendar with a $5,000 total good bond. Position 10, reset further notice with a $1,000 SOB through the jail. Position 11 is going to the SAP calendar with a $2,000 good bond. Position 12 is reset further notice with a $4,000 total SOB through pretrial. Position 13 is going to the SAP calendar with a $1,000 good bond. And position 14 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. Are there any questions, comments, or corrections?
Okay, if not, you all have a good rest of your day. We'll see you next time. Be safe.
You too, Your Honor. Thank you.